said I'll take 15 minutes, exactly I have been left with 15 minutes. So thank you. Before I start, I would like to first explain what the TOD means. We should be very clear. TOD does not mean intermodal connectivity, like the lady from Hindustan Times mentioned. As already explained by Vikas, we had already made an arrangement. There was a huge piece of land which was to be sold by the Noida authorities. So we made an arrangement that go around the land, and we developed a path where anybody can just walk down with his suitcase or whatever material he has, and he can also take a free cab. This is an electrical vehicle from one station to another station. It just takes few minutes, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 7-8 minutes to walk, and 5 minutes to go by the electrical vehicle. That is all. It's not far distance. But ultimately, we had decided that once this plot is getting developed, we'll cut across, because from one station, DMRC station to the Noida station, there can be a direct connection. There could be a direct connectivity, which we will do at some point of time when it is being developed. But this is intermodal connection. This is not TOD, transit-oriented. We must distinguish that the concept. Transit-oriented development is a urban planning concept. Because earlier, when we were planning a city, we were not even bothered. How to place, in fact, the whole concept of urban planning has transformed over the years. And now they are trying to, the latest concept in the urban planning is we make the cities fully self-contained. So that all your requirements are there right next door. You don't have to go far away. When you develop a colony, you develop a place, a habitat, a human habitat in the urban area, then all your requirements are met right there. Maybe for few, you have to move out. You have to move away. So now the concept is that of the mixed development. It's a place where you have all the things available right there. Now transit-oriented development picks up from there, this urban planning concept, that you have a rapid transit system. It could be MRTS, it could be BRTS, it could be RRTS. Any of the rapid transit system. So you can cover from one place to the another place, a big marketplace to another big marketplace in shortest possible time. So you get all your requirement done within the small area, and for something which is not available on the in the routine manner, you take the transit path and you go to that big place and come back. So this way, what you are addressing is the issue of congestion. You are reducing the total transit in the city. When you are reducing the congestion, you are reducing the transit in the city, you are also reducing the pollution. You are improving the quality of life of the citizens. See, the whole concept of this common central secretariat, which Honorable Prime Minister has mooted in the year 2014 itself when he came as the Prime Minister, which I had the privilege of conceptualizing and getting that on ground, and when you go and someday it will be possible. All this central secretariat to come together, the idea was when all of them come together, then people don't have to move from here and there, because when I was Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Mines, we had 3 buildings, and this, for us itself there was a lot of transit. And every transit means you are congesting the city. So this transit-oriented development, one should be clear, this is an urban planning concept. This is marrying the transit to the planning, urban planning. Now, how this Mr. Chotani, what Chotani says, urban and rural. No, the moment this RRTS is moving from Delhi to Meerut, it will create many urban areas. What is urban? Urban is, the difference between rural and urban is a kind of all your activities, the people, the forces which are engaged in the economic development or economic activity, they all come together. And in a small space, you are able to create more values. In the rural areas, maybe more space, you are not able to create that much of value. That is why this is why the cities are called the engines of economic growth. So when RRTS is moving, they are creating the stations Only the concept may change, but the fundamental concept is they have to create a city where it is a fully livable cities catering to all our human requirements. And if the need be, they can move from one place to another place in a fast manner using the RRTS. They can come to Delhi, come back to their city, and they can have all the regular requirements right there. If this concept is very clear, I think this policy, which was circulated by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs in 2017, it gives so much of, so many flexibility to the states to come out with their own mode. I mean, you can have one maybe just around the station, maybe for the RRTS, because the distance between one station to another station is almost like 3 to 10 kilometers. So then you can have, say, a ring of, say, 500 meters, another ring of 1,000 meters, and that 1,000-meter ring can be a self-contained city itself, and it can be walkable. It will be a beautiful city with a high-storied, with a high FAR. I mean, I'm a proponent of a very high FAR. If you go for high FAR, you cut down on the cost of the infrastructure drastically. You can reduce the cost of the properties drastically. You can improve the quality of life. People will have more water, more green, more walkable and playable areas, and more exercisable area than when the cities are very flat. So this is the concept which was rooted there. They can go around maybe the first ring of 500, another ring of 1,000, and there can be different kind of densities for that. But when you speak in the context of metro, the metros per se are normally the distance between one station to another station is 700 to 1100 meters. Normally one can walk, say, around 500 to 6 meters very fast. So this can be as much like, rather than having a ring, they can have a corridor itself, because if you take a ring of a 500 meters, which is normally walkable distance, then it is all connected. One station to another station is all connected. So this is the concept of transit-oriented development. Now it is for the states to develop their own policy, as Sushil rightly pointed it out. UP has come out with, because we have understood the essence of the whole transit-oriented development. We don't bound down by a specific thing. It is specific to the context. For the RRTS, it is going to be different. For a MRTS, it is going to be different. If you have a BRTS, it will be very different. But the fundamental concept remains the same. It is a human habitat which has everything possible. Only for few needs, you may take the transit path and go to one station to another station. In fact, I have seen across the globe, I mean, the different places I have been, as I mentioned to you, MTR's headquarters. This is the head office building. It's almost, I think, remember, 42 or 44 stories building. It's a huge complex. I mean, think of it, is the whole station is, just as the gentleman, Mr. Suzuki was mentioning, this has got everything. It has got a hotel, it has got residence, it has got everything. Binay was mentioning about their, from the place in Ghaziabad where they are starting the metro. I had requested them to develop a whole city. I mean, it's just matter of time. Because you are connected to Delhi, you are connected to Ghaziabad, you are connected to Meerut, you are connected to so many places. Then people who are living there, they just take the RRTS and go to any place, and all their requirements, all their needs can be done. And today, the cost is very less. This was also my learning from Hong Kong Metro when I was visiting, that whenever they are taking any new line, first thing they will acquire some 400, 500 acres of land, and the MTR become the owner, and they will get some private developer. They will develop the whole new city. So they get the captive market, the captive people who can use this for their jobs. But in the later time, most of the jobs will be created right there. So this is the concept of transit-oriented development. And once you are clear about the concept, I think all the states can go for it. This, they can, I mean, like the UP has come out with this policy. All of them will come with policies. Like for Binay, I gave this, I mean, when I was the secretary MOVA, I gave them this Jangpura thing. Jangpura can be a beautiful urban habitat. It's a railway station which is right next to it. Jangpura, our station which connects to the whole world of the, I mean, Bombay, Delhi, all these places. There is a railway line. There are Their RRTS line connecting to the UP side and all these places, ultimately it is going to connect to, say, Haryana, it is going to connect to Rajasthan, RRTS, and the metro which connects to the whole of Delhi, because Delhi has got 400 kilometer plus of metro and they are further growing. So it connects to the whole of the western words, it connects to the, UP, Rajasthan, all these places connect. So this is going to be a beautiful habitat and they can go for very high FAR depending on how much is available. The water, electricity and all these things, these are the limitations. But the urban habitat can be, it's a very good urban habitat can be planned, the transit-oriented development. And I think this has got for the railways. In fact, now the railways should start thinking of, in Gandhinagar they have come out with a hotel. But hotel is not enough. It is not adequate. If we have a concept of, like there is a metropolis, there is a railpolis. The railway station itself can become a complete city in itself. Earlier we had the railway station and the cities came in a flat manner. The quality of life next to the railway stations is not very good. But now, this country is changing. This is Amrit Kal, the country is completely changing. Like Gandhinagar, like Bhopal, like Lucknow, many stations are changing. They are also thinking of the Delhi station. So while all this change is taking place, they should go in terms of concept of the railpolis, where the whole urban city around this railway station can come up. And for that, you may think that what we'll do, because there's already cities have come. Like us, the cities also grow old. Like us, when we live our life and get into the new new body, and we become young and we start developing the new thing. Is a concept of rebirth. So is the concept of the city, there is a concept of redevelopment. You can get the old city completely transformed into the new city. And this new city will be much more livable city. It will be much more denser city. It will improve the quality of life like anything. More water, more green, more markets, more pleasure, more, whatever you think of which is needed for the human life, a better quality of a school, better hospital facilities, better, think of a thing and that can be right there. But then you have to plan like this and you have to bring people together. You see, that is the challenge. The challenge is because our cities around the stations, they have all grown old, but they don't want to get out of it. So we have to create an example. See, my approach has, in any place or as a Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, had been create successes. When you create successes, it will breed more successes. So while I was there as a Secretary, I told there will be a lot of difficulty in getting the private. Why not start with the government? Let the government create that. And today, let me give an example. Any of you who have visited Bhopal city, the smart city of Bhopal has come out with beautiful development in the city of Bhopal. If you had been to, earlier Bhopal and now the new city, smart city which has developed, and their Honorable Chief Minister was so much, progressive, and he had thought of what is going to come up in the future. He gave all these things to the smart city, and the smart city has come up with a beautiful development. All old building has gone like our, you have seen East Kidwai Nagar, where, or maybe New Motiba Colony, all this new development, redevelopment is the new concept. So when you go for the redevelopment, so in these notes, in these, when you get that space earmarked, don't think that unless and until we have the 100%, we can't go for it. Create successes. That was the challenge. In which this is why I told Binay when I've given already approved as a secretary, urban secretary, that Jangpura, let this be developed by you. It was very easy. It used to be one of our corporation, the land was given to you, you can develop it and showcase to the people that this is the difference, how a good quality life can come around the MRTS or RRTS or BRTS, which has happened outside. So once we start seeing, seeing is believing. Like Mr. Suzuki mentioned about the development above the rail line. Yes, government of Maharashtra was very progressive in sanctioning this 24-story building on the what is called? Zero mile. And so now many other have started working on it. You can see the possibility. I don't agree to Ved Prakash ji that it is very costly. No, it is not costly. It is much cheaper. You will bring down the cost. These are these things, we already have a lot of notions. When you have to think big, and this is the right time. What Honorable Prime Minister says, abhi samay hai aur sahi samay hai. This is the right time now. This is the time when we need to do it now. You can't do it, if you don't do it now, you can't do it later. Yahi samay hai, sahi samay hai. This is the time and this is the right time. So when you think like this, create successes, because this is a new concept. You will develop a lot of resources out of it. In fact, this transit-oriented development can bring, as Sushil was mentioning, that we had developed in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs the concept of land value capture. There are many instruments through which the land value can be captured. Otherwise, you develop and somebody else gains from your development. So can you do this land value capture to one of the 9 different instruments are there? Can you capture that and get that money to the urban transport, which will help them in sustaining, to give them a sustainable life? Otherwise, urban transport across the globe, it is not a sustainable business. It is not something which is a profit-making business, because it is investment into the economic activities of the city. Lot of development, lot of gains are there, which are not measurable directly. They are all indirect benefits. Think of it, if the DMRC had not been there, the year 23 would have been a hell for the citizens of Delhi. DMRC is a great relief to the city of Delhi, and that is why you are able to do lot of things. Otherwise, I remember when I was, in 90s we used to go to Bangkok. It was such a difficult time to move even 1 kilometer. So DMRC has given us that relief, and DMRC need to grow. Like word over the metros or BRTS or RRTS, they need to grow. And develop cities around this, because the human population is growing. They need, and today they are not very happy with whatever they get. They are happy only with, they are now aspirational. And now this is Amrut Kal. Indians are more aspirational than any part of the world. We expect very big, better quality of life. But one warning, while you are developing this TOD, please be mindful of it, that it has to be developed in the TOD ways. You just can't have the bungalows in the transit-oriented development area. You can't have the luxury of 500 and 600 square meters area. You need a good quality of life for the young professionals, but those who are coming for the businesses. So you need to develop in the, that's what I said, TOD is not a concept of the transport. TOD is a concept of urban planning. And this concept of urban planning has matured a lot, because it has a lot of things, lot of development across the globe, and it has started seeing its benefits within the country, within our country also. We need to learn from each other and create small successes. Have the master plan be ready, so that it is all integrated. Ultimately, it has to come in that manner. That is the master plan. That let that master plan for the whole area be developed. Say if is a station, so around the station, that master plan be there. But don't touch everybody. Let others start seeking that I would also like. They will come together. They will all pool. And they know that if they are currently living in a house which is only say 40 square meters house in Delhi, and if they are going to get 100 square meters without any additional spending, just by pooling the resources and using the higher FAR or the higher FSI, everybody will come around. They would like to come around and they would like to contribute towards this. So you will find this new development, and I think India is right now, yahi samay hai, sahi samay hai. This is the right time when such kind of development can take place to improve the quality of life. Ultimately, that is the objective of the whole development. We are developing so that we create ease of living, we create better quality of living, so that people can contribute very positively towards economic development. The targets set by our Honorable Prime Minister is by 2047, we will be developed countries. And I have a full confidence we will be developed countries much earlier than that. Because the way things are happening, and the cities need to take that challenge, the states need to take that idea, take that concept and move ahead to provide its citizens a better quality of life so that they can start contributing more economically in all kinds of activities in the cities. And cities, which are the engines of economic growth, they become the engines of much higher quality, engines of which can take things much faster, like the engines of Boeing and not of that of the bullock cart. So I would like to conclude here. It was a very interesting, session, and it is showing the path for the future. And we are the one, it's a question of whether you want to be on the side of doing what is needed for the country, or you are still thinking what to do, how to do. Already instruments are there, we need to implement that. Thank you.